Right, we're going to start another mandala. We had a few requests for another style mandala. So we've probably done about, I think, 15 mandalas all up. So we're trying to work out a best way to keep them really, really simple. And we've come up with this solution. So this is the board that you'll get for your mandala, and we have got it already pre-engraved. It does have letters on here. So you've got A, B, C, D, E, and then you've got F and your center. So basically coloured on here. So as you see, you've got A, B, D, E, and everything that relates to this section is all nicely put into a bag. So I'll just show you this other mandala we've got. This is basically buying it as a kit is what you will see. So you've got your fact sheet. And this one here will have a link to obviously this video, so you just type in the link and it'll bring up this video. Everything is all in the bag, and it all has whatever section it's relating to. We've got B, so that there we know is going to be for the background. A is the border, so we've put everything in bags, which makes it easy to find what you need. And then you've got, say for example, D, that's bag D. C is our big one that does all of the flowers, and there's 6 of these that go around. So that's all of the tiles you need for that particular area to do. Alright, and so on, so on. So we're going to start with this one. I had actually sealed my board with a mix of PVA and water, so I just used 50-50 PVA and water. I've let it dry. First one here, which is going to be C. So this is this one along here. So what I've started doing is I've cut the mirror in half. Okay, and then we've started gluing them from here all the way around to here. So obviously this side here as well. We're going to glue those in place. So I'm keeping them on the inside of this line here. You've got 2 lines, so they stay on the inside all through here. So just basically all going to go through here and up this way. Alright, so just start with a little bit of glue. So I have stuck these ones here. I'm going to carry on up this side. And we're going to go right back down to about here. So you can just pat the glue down with a paintbrush. That'll just stop your tiles from moving around. So nice flat surface. Probably can go down to there actually. So this will be our first one. So same thing, we're not going down here. This is for something else there. So it's always good to probably spend a bit of time doing all your cutting. That way you don't have to stop and start all the time, which I'll be doing now. So you quickly get a few more cut up. So this one is bag C. Alright, so that is our first one that we've done here. So now we're going to work back up this way, down there with our grey Cosmo tiles. So our first ones we're going to cut this diagonally. So I'm just going to put a cut across here. We will put a couple of spare ones in the kit set just in case you have a slight wonky cut, which might be this one. Right, so they're our first 2, so we're going to pop those just along here. Doesn't matter if they hang over this line a little bit, they just need to be the back up against here. So this is the area that we're looking at. So first one here. And I'm putting a dollop of glue up here because I'm going to start with one here. and then I'll put my one that I'm going to keep hold up the top here, and then I'm just going to fill this in here. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole tiles along here plus a half one. So we'll get out our 5 tiles. 2, 4, 5. I'm just going to cut a little slither off the bottom of here. So you see it's got the little grooves on the back. So I'm just going to cut the last one off. It's almost sort of 3/4, and that should fit in nicely. So let's see how we go. Perfectly. Right, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Make sure they don't move. Okay, so that's all that one done. So now we're going to come in with our next row, which is going to be our white crystal tiles. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 up that way and 9 down that way. So I count out 19, 2, 4, 5. And I always start with 1 at the top. We're going to have 1 right down the end here. So it just sits on the top here. So you just want to leave a little area here. So about here. Okay, so now it's time to put our little petals in. So I've got a medium silver one, so I'm just going to pop that one in here. So I'm staying on this side of the line, not going over here. So that's going to be my first one. And I have 2 smaller ones, which I'm going to pop make sure they're not hanging over the line. Right, so glue those in place. Right, pretty good. Just over there, right, and then we're going to fill this little bit here. We've got 2 sizes of white iridise. I've got a 15ml and a 10ml, so I'm just mixing them up together. The slightly bigger ones I'm just going to cut diagonally, and then the small ones also diagonally. So same thing again, have your little pile ready to go. It's so much quicker and easier. It's a matter of arranging these to fit. So you might need to do a little bit of trimming. The idea is you want to have the area filled with this beautiful white iridescent. So the small ones are quite good just to go into those little tiny areas. Just by mixing the big and the small together. Right, so that is one of our petals. So we are going to do that. As you can see, it's 6 times around the board. So we've got 1 to finish this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you carry on doing those, and then we can move on to the next petal. So I'm going to finish off these ones, and then we'll get back to our next one, which will be this one here, which is bag E. Okay, we are now up to bag F. So that is basically around here. Right around this one and around here. So this is going to be our bag F. So we're going to start off with our dark grey ones. Right, so I am making sure with our dark grey ones, which are going to be these little opaque ones, we are going to put them on the other side of this line. So just make sure you get the right way up, because there is a bottom and a top. The top's very smooth, the bottom has a little bit of a grainy texture to them. Right, so the first one's going to go here. This will hang over this line here a little bit, but don't worry, as long as we're up against here. And we're going to pop in here and there our little mirror circle, and these gorgeous little clay embellishments. One here, one there. And around these little circles, we're going to put some white crystal tiles. So they are also in your bag F, which are these ones, and we're just going to cut those in half. And they will start off here. And you will get a little gap at the top here. So we're just going to cut one that we've cut in half. We're going to cut in half again. And that little one's just going to pop on the top there. Same thing again, one here. Another one half. And then a little one. Just sort of spread those out evenly. And finishing off our grey. Alright, so now here you might have these little gaps which were from our flower in our first one we're done, when we came down to here, and we have this little gap. So now we can just go and fill it with some little half mirrors. So just check around here, same with here, if you've got a little gap there, just fill it with a half mirror. Right, so that's also our little outside finish. And we'll just go and top up those little gaps. That one's okay, I've done that one. One here. Okay, so now we're on number E, which as you can see on your little bit of paper, this is E here. So E comprises of these little grey ones, And we do have to cut one in half. Put it in place. And to go along the top, we're going to have our mirror squares, the 10mm ones, which are cut in half. And that will outline the edge of those grey ones. So that's going to go along here. And in the middle here, we've got our 20mm round circles in the mirror, which we're going to cut into 4. So just sort of roughly in the centre. Half again. Half again. We'll do a few of those, and they are going to fill in here. Right, so we'll continue on with this one here. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. We're up to D. This is this one here. There's 12 of these little spikes that go around the board. So we're going to first of all outline this area here with whole mirror squares in 10 by 10. To start there, stay on the inside of the line. Put one here. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up here and 6 down there. So nice and close together, but a small gap for your grout to go into. Okay, make sure they are straight. Okay, and just for this area here, nice and simple, we're going to do this all in one piece. So I'm putting my glue in. We are going to drop our, oopsie daisy, our patterned circle. So they come, one's patterned, the next one around is plain. So you're going to get 6 patterned and 6 plain. You're just going to alternate them. That's going to go in there. I've got some beautiful grey opaque tiles, so just pop those around. You can almost just see the line under there. You can just adjust these if you need to. And along here are going to be our 15mm Murano iridized tiles. So put one there, one up the top. Just adjust that if you need to. Make the gaps nice and even. This one round here, we've got 3, 2, 3. Put that to the center, and 2 more here. So just sort of move them around. It's quite good to do this piece all at once. You can adjust them if you need them. Right, so I'm going to do the other ones here. So there's 12 of those. All right, we're back to bag A, which is going to be our border tile. So that's from here to here. That takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles. So that's 9 tiles across here. So start either end and then just fill in here with your, that's the total of 9 tiles. and we'll continue around the outside of the board. Okay, so now we're going to work on bag B, which is this area here. So what we're going to do, we've got our white Murano tiles. We're going to cut diagonally. So we're going to start off with these ones. Are going to go in here. And then whole ones going across. And the next row in, it's going to be the same thing again. And where was it? I've lost it. Just do another one. Here it is. That's going to go there. And this one here, it's going to be 2 of the triangles. So basically cut that diagonally. It's going to go that way and one's going to go that way. Same thing again, diagonally. So just make sure you line up your screw in the center. That can be your guide point. So I've got the screw, it's basically in line with there. And that's going to be that area there. So we'll glue that in place and we'll carry on doing that in each section. Okay, if you're having a little bit of a tight fit here, so sometimes in the gluing process, sometimes little ones can move. So this one's slightly moved up a little bit. So for me to get that one, it's just knocking. So I'm just going to trim a tiny bit off that point there. Slippery little sucker. Right, so just a little bit off there, and that'll just help it to sit in nicely. So you just trim if you need to take a little bit off. And don't worry about trying to line up these lines. You don't want that. We're going to do white grout, so it's going to hide any little lines that don't match up. We're just aiming for a solid block of white colour once it's grouted. Right, let's carry on. Okay, we're on the last stretch of the journey of our mandala, which is the centre. Now this one here, I would suggest putting all your glue in first, then replace them, and you can sort of wriggle them around. It's no good kind of doing it a little bit and then coming back to it when it's dry, because some tiles you'll need to sort of wriggle and adjust. So let's start with our centerpiece. So first of all, I'm going to put on my glue, and I've got all my little tiles here from the bag center laid out. So everything I need for bag center is over here, nicely laid out. But anyway, it's good to lay them out first, but I'm just going to grab and pick. Alright, so our first one's going to be our centerpiece here. Just want to pat that glue down a little bit. Okay. Patting this down will just stop our tiles from floating around when we're putting them down. Right. So our first one will be our centerpiece, which is our little ceramic disc, and just sort of find the center, which is there. And then what we're going to do now is arrange our little ceramic tiles, our little mirror tiles, which are these ones here. I've actually cut in half. I'm going to pop one there, and I've already pre-cut some. So this is why you want to not glue it and then walk away. You want to have it all glued at the same time. So we'll pop those down, and now we're going to arrange our ceramic silver petals. So they're just going to go into this groove, into each of the groove. So one will go here, and vice versa. These will just sort of move around when we need to. That one's going to go there, into that little groove. Okay, so you have a little bit of drying time with this glue, so you do have time to move things around. All right, so the next one we're going to have is we're going to put a light one, a dark one, no we're not, we're going to do a light one, a mid dark one, and then a dark one on the end. And we're going to finish with a light one. So they should fit in just nicely, just space them out a little bit. Same again, so it's going to be a light one, a mid grey one, a dark grey one. This is going to be good for your eyesight. And finish with a light grey. Same thing again, just sort of move them around if you need to, straighten them up. The idea is you're kind of looking for these gaps here to sort of be even. And that's just a matter of adjusting the petal a little bit. Looks about right. Alright, so we'll carry on. So light grey one, mid grey one, dark grey one, finishing with a light grey. So we've done these ones here. What we're going to pop in here now is our mirror circles. So these are ones that we have just cut in half, okay? So they were whole ones, we've just cut them in half. So we're going to pop one in here. So you can sort of see you just need to adjust your little petals around to fit them in. So if you sort of do half and then work on popping these in, you can just adjust them a little bit. A little bit over, this one needs to come over a little bit. Oops, let's get it up the right way, might help. There we go, it must be lunchtime. My brain's starting not to work. Righty ho. In these gaps here, we've got these grey triangles. So they're just gonna go in here. Same thing again, just re-wriggle if you need to. Straighten up. Right, so go back and check you're straight. Another grey one here. So you can sort of see how it helps you to adjust your petals over a little bit.